Hey everyone! All right, well, we're going to start with a number routine today. This is something we've done before. What we have here is a modified 100s chart, right? So it's the numbers all the way from 1, in this case, down to 130. So it has a few extra numbers. And we're going to read the directions and see if we can't work this together. I'm going to choose a highlighter when I do this so that I can still see the numbers as I mark them on my page. If I was to use a normal pen, it would be hard to see the 24 or the 56. So it says, hey, let's count. We're going to start at 42. So let's see, here's the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, 41, 42. So this is where we're starting. Count by tens. Okay, so if we were counting by ones, we would go normally just to the right. So 42, 43, 44. But they don't want us to count by ones. They want us to change the tens. In order to get an extra 10, you have to go down. So 42 becomes 52. 52 becomes 62. And we're supposed to keep counting by tens until we get all the way up to 122. So 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, and then we have to regroup. When we have 9 of them, we got an extra 10. So now it comes all the way over to the hundreds place. 102, 112, 122. You should notice that the pattern is that each time they get 10 more, and the ones do not change. All right, let's try another one here. Instead of starting at 42, let's start at 59. Okay? And this time, instead of counting bigger by tens, let's count smaller by tens. So you might notice a different pattern here. 59 becomes 49, becomes 39, becomes 29. Oh, I'm down to just 110, and then I give that 10 up entirely when I get all the way down to 9. So our first pattern, we were counting down our hundreds chart by adding tens. And on this pattern, we were kind of doing the opposite. We were going back, subtracting tens. Okay, let's do one more, and then we will move along. All right, this time, I think I'm going to start on 95. And instead of counting by tens, let's count by fives. So 95, 100. 105, 110, 115, 120, 125, 130. This pattern looked different because we were skip counting not by tens, but we were going all the way up 5 each time. And maybe I should have used a different pen for that here. Let's see if I can just draw it instead. There we go. So it went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's counting by fives, but doing so way up here at 95 is a little bit harder, isn't it? Anyway, just a routine, messing around with the hundreds chart. 10 more, 10 less, and then as a little bonus, we did 5 more on that one. Kind of a tricky one there. Okay. Principal Smith wants us to take a look at measurement, especially using inches today. So the learning target that we have today is that I can measure in inches. Well, how do you measure a crayon then? Okay, so one of the things you can do is you can use any unit. And we did that yesterday when we did our hands to measure or paper clips to measure. In this case, they're using tiles. And when they used the tiles, they came up with 1, 2, the crayon is 3 tiles long, starting at the start, ending at the end. You have to be careful when you measure. Is there any sort of tool that we can use to measure? It asks. Yes. Yeah, when we get back to school next week, I'm going to be passing out rulers to everyone. This is a ruler. And what do you notice about this ruler? Well, it's measuring inches. It's labeled. It starts at 0. And then there's a little line. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12. So there are 12 inches on a ruler. Let's see what it says over here. Oh, look, it asks us that question. How many inches are on this ruler? 12. Excellent. Take a look. So this space between the numbers, between a 0 and a 1, or between a 1 and a 2, or between the 4 and the 5 is 1 inch. I usually think of that as 2 fingers is about 1 inch. 2 of your fingers, anyway, is about 1 inch. All right, so how can I use an inch ruler to measure the crayon? Well, I can't just stick it anywhere. I have to try to get it right down by the 0, and if I can, it works best if it is nice and straight. So I'm going to start at the start. I'm going to stop at the stop. And I would think that this is about 5 inches long, this color crayon. Okay? Let's see what we got over here. So to measure an object, place one end of the object at 0. Check. Okay, that's the first part. Second part, well, how many inches long was this crayon? 5 inches long. So we did some great measurement. Excellent. See how they lined it right up? The other end of the crayon lines up with the 5. That's why we're saying it's 5 inches long. Here they are showing you the inches as they add up toward 5, which is that same answer we've got. Oh no. How are we going to measure the pencil? Probably the same way. We're going to twist it so it's flat. Then we're going to put it right at the 0. We're going to come down the ruler. Oh, I know what I would say this is. Do you know what you might say? I'm going to have you do a couple of these measurement problems on your own. You're going to be measuring a paintbrush, a nail, a feather, right? As you do these things, make sure you know that you can move the ruler around, and you want to start right at the 0 and go all the way to the tip. Okay? Then you want to write down the number, and then this longer line is for the word inches. How many inches? You have to write that number right in the front. So you're going to do 3 of those. Then you're going to read this story problem here. If you have this glue stick, would it fit into a box that was a length of 3 inches? So is this glue stick going to fit? Well, as I move the ruler up there, I could figure out, is it going to fit in the box or not? Here, we're going to be fixing a problem that Gina is working on together. It's about this stapler. Gina seems to think the stapler is exactly 11 inches long. We want to know, is that correct? And if not, what could we do differently so that we could figure out the correct answer? When you're all done with this good stuff, I have a math game for everyone to play. Thanks now. Bye.